Hello, and welcome back to the Tickler Show. I'm your host, Tim Tickler. Alright, so to start things off this week, I got a letter that I'm supposed to read from my lawyer told me I had to read this. Alright, lawyer Larry. It says, turns out I was bamboozled. I did not receive an advertisement email from Shaman Ultrasoft. I fell for an investment scam where I thought that it was Shaman Ultrasoft. They told me today I had to send them a small portion of money. I would do the advertisement, and afterwards I would receive a big payout, as they told me. All right, now that we got that out of the way, I could go ahead and start the show. All right, so with me today, a little bit of a risky endeavor, but we got someone who claims to be from Sprite. It's Mr. Steve.
I told you not to call me Steve.
Sorry,
I told you not to call me
Sorry.
Steve on the show.
Alright,
I told you.
alright,
I said
calm
I want a
down,
fake name.
Are we called?
Yeah, it's fine.
Alright,
I just
what
don't
do you
know
want
why
me
I
to
told
call you? I don't remember what you told me to call you before the
I
show.
told you to call me Keith.
I'm not gonna
I
lie.
told you to call me Keith. Do you remember that?
Alright, Keith
Because
it
I
is.
told you to call me Keith before
Okay,
the show.
alright, Keith.
Because I don't.
Can
I
we
want my
pass it?
identity
Can we
protected.
leave it
That's why I
alone?
have a voice changer
Keith.
on.
Keith, alright? We get it. Also, nobody would have even known that your real name was Steve if you didn't tell everybody, you big dummy. And you know I like alliteration, okay? So, I mean, I'm going to, of course, try to go for the alliteration. You know this. You know I like alliteration.
Okay, yeah,
Come
I'm
on.
sorry you're an idiot.
Come on,
I'm sorry you're an idiot.
Keith. Can we just let's just have a peace treaty, all right?
Okay,
Let's
yeah,
just have a
peace,
peace treaty.
peace.
Right? This is the start of the show, and we're already arguing. Okay, we can't be doing this
Let's
the whole
stop
time, all right? People come here because they look for answers. We're the show with
here for the
answers, all right?
I'm giving
We
you the
can't be
answers.
sitting here arguing back and forth like a bunch of little freaking kids, all right? Keith.
Thank you for calling me Keith. Thank you for calling
You're
me
welcome. You're welcome. All right, I'm ready to start the show now. All right, Keith.
Keith. Let's begin.
Okay, now you tell me that you have some information about the Sprite
Yes.
and a little bit about what's going on with what happened
Yeah.
with Corona Craig last episode. All right.
Yes. All right. So yeah, I do actually work for Sprite, and everybody in the Sprite company did receive an email last week. They were talking about the coronavirus, and they said they were trying to try their new method, which was to quote unquote diffuse the situation.
I'm suspicious
Now,
of that.
I mean, no one really knew what that meant. I guess I'll let you speculate what you think that means. So, what is that? What do you think that would mean?
I don't know. That sounds pretty suspicious to me. Sounds like we got a little bit of a scandal going on. I'm not too sure exactly what it would entail, but I'm gonna assume that it's got something to do with what happened to Craig last week, and I'm just putting that. That's where I'm putting my chips. I'm assuming that they put something in this Sprite that reacts weird with the coronavirus, and it's what caused Craig to have that outburst last week. Rest in peace.
Well, you should be a betting man because
I should have put. My
you
hands.
are pretty much exactly right. So I have right here. I've written down. So it's called. What I was told. This was from some of the Sprite higher ups. So they're calling it Project Spicy Sprite.
Spicy Sprite.
I assume. I mean, I don't know why
like
they
flavor.
call it that, but so basically, from what I was told from the scientists, there's a chemical that they're putting in the Sprite that it reacts in such a way with the coronavirus that it will. At first, it will bring you into a coughing fit. Okay,
That's exactly what happened to
will
Craig.
slowly fill your lungs with Sprite.
Oh my
and
god!
then after your lungs are full of Sprite, you will slowly die.
Oh my god!
Very
Craig had to
painful.
go through that. I can't believe Craig had to go through that. And my
Sorry,
god! I can only imagine. Oh my god! Craig was such a good guy,
Yeah,
and he had to have his lungs fill up with Sprite. Okay, that's not cool. That's not cool. Right? So I thought it was a little bit suspicious. I thought it was a little bit suspicious when the guy, with the ambulance man, he saw Craig and he said he was DNR, whatever the hell that means. And I don't think he was. I do know what that means, but I don't think he is DNR. I think that. Do you know anything? Do you know that ambulance man, Alex,
Yeah,
ambulance Alex?
Yeah, Alex
is
was.
what he was
I was
called.
trying to tell you earlier, but you kept talking.
I'm sorry.
Alex was associate of Sprite, and the ambulance was sponsored by Sprite. The ambulance that was sent to your house was it was like a Sprite ambulance. It's that particular hospital has been doing their testing with the Sprite companies, which you're not supposed to know any of this. This is all confidential information.
I feel betrayed.
That is why I do not want my real name out there. I'm trying to have a voice changer on here. I don't want anyone to figure out my identity because I could lose a lot.
Yeah, I bet
from
you
this.
really could.
But Ambulance Alex was an associate of Sprite, and Sprite told them not to bring Craig back. Now, Sprite's intentions are good. I mean, they're somewhat good because they're trying to diffuse the corona situation by just ending the virus in the people by killing them.
That is inhumane.
So they're trying to neutralize the virus from spreading across the country with neutralization. However, that's
inhumane.
I mean, yeah, as you said, that's really inhumane, and I don't really think I particularly agree with it.
Yeah, I don't either. All right, I'm sorry. I know I was trying to say sorry earlier, but
It's all right.
I'm really sorry. I said your real name earlier. I hope the editor guys will edit that out.
They better.
Well, how high up does this go? Do you think? I mean, does it end at Sprite, or is there something bigger at play? Do we have to fear for do we have to feel for our government? There's our government playing a part in this.
So that's where like my knowledge kind of ends, and it goes more on speculation. However, I am starting to speculate that the government is not really a part of it because governments in certain states are shutting down restaurants and stuff, as I'm sure you know. So that would actually be like less access to Sprite. And I mean, also a lot of stores around my area in particular are they're like not even really stocking up on that much Sprite. So I would assume if it went higher up that those places would be more well stocked and there would be more frequent places for the sale of Sprite. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think actually I'm gonna have to stop there for a little bit because I disagree with you because I saw a Facebook post the other day from one of my close friends, and I don't know why I didn't tell you this sooner, but it was a Sprite party. All right, I don't know who the hell has a Sprite party, but this was a Sprite party because they said that Sprite was their favorite drink, and they might as well all get together since a bunch of people are out of work. That strikes me as a bit suspicious. I've never met anybody who likes Sprite enough to throw a whole party. All right, does that sound weird to you?
No, I'm on board with you. That does sound very suspicious, and I would immediately stop being friends with that person because they are probably as shrill for Sprite as I guess technically I am at this point, but I'm more of like an inside operative. I'm getting the word out there.
Yeah.
I'm letting everybody know, and I'm doing what I can inside Sprite headquarters to actually make a difference and try to stop this spicy Sprite epidemic from going any further.
Yeah.
Because my mother actually has Sprite, and I'm the last thing
I think you meant Corona.
What did I actually say? Sprite? I meant Corona. I'm sorry, but I would love. The last thing I would want for her to do is to take a swig of Sprite while she has Corona and just watching, having to watch her die. But luckily, I've already told her everything. She already knows not to stay away from Sprite. But I still am suspicious they might try to sneak it into her in other ways. The Sprite is a very, very, very creative team, and they're doing whatever they can to get people with Corona.
So you're making Sprite out to be like public enemy number one here. So I mean, what could you tell our some of our viewers to stay away from Sprite? And then we'll go into a little bit more stuff after this. Right? But yeah, what do you want to tell our viewers? What should they do? How do they stay away from Sprite? How do they avoid this I guess infiltration of our public health and safety?
Okay.
Right?
So so I would say first up, obviously the clear answer here is just stay away from Sprite. Just don't drink any Sprite, obviously. However, this does not stop there, because there are going to be people you never know where there could be Sprite operatives.
Yeah, they could be scared.
So I would say any place with fountain soda where you are not getting the fountain soda yourself, I would be scary. And I mean, this is mainly just for people with Corona. Normal people don't have to worry about this. But if you have Corona,
Corona is kind of sneaky, though.
Be wary, because if you get a fountain drink from, let's say, let's say McDonald's or something.
McDonald's.
And then that McDonald's worker turns out to be a Sprite operative, they can fill up your glass with spicy Sprite, And
Oh my
it
God.
could be the last drink of your life.
I didn't even think about that.
However, I would also stay away from fountain water, even if you get it yourself, because spicy Sprite, and normal Sprite, and water all look very, very similar.
Yeah, they look alike.
And I would just not trust that. So I would go ahead and those are some big ones there. And I would say also, lock your door at night, because there have been cases I've been told about people under me that work under me. Some of them will infiltrate houses at night and inject.
Are you serious?
Sleeping corona victims. They'll just inject Sprite straight into their veins, and that is not a joke. That is real.
That is insane. I cannot even believe.
Yeah.
They go into your house.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's insane. You have no idea the amount of money that Sprite has put into Operation Spicy Sprite.
This is insane.
It has been. I will just say this. It has been over $5 billion.
Oh, are you
Operation
serious?
Spicy Sprite. They are fighting hard. They do not want any corona spreading. They think it's bad for their business. They think it's bad for the country. They think it's bad for the world, and they're going to do whatever they can to stop it.
I mean, they're onto something. I mean, it is bad. It is bad. But they're killing innocent people. And also $5 billion.
I know.
Well, man, imagine if you just had $5 billion sitting there. Yeah. Well, you would not even know what to do with that amount of money. And they're just doing that to literally murder people. All right. I had a friend murdered by these savages. I got nothing. Except he left me a little watch, a little wristwatch.
Nice. That's nice of him.
In his will, which was nice, very nice of him. It was his favorite wristwatch.
Yeah. So should we stray away from the corona a little bit? I feel like we've been talking about this for probably too long, but I did want to get that out there. But I mean, other than that, I'm open to any questions that you might have.
I got one.
I still will answer any Sprite related questions, but ask away.
All right. So, what are you gonna do inside Sprite to actually try and? Are you gonna do anything inside of Sprite headquarters to try and stop this or put it into its? Also, how'd you get employed at Sprite? How long have you been working there?
Well, so first I'm going to answer your first question. Well, I'm a little bit hesitant to do anything too, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess just too obvious. I don't want to make myself known as a anti-Spriter while I'm still under Sprite headquarters. I would rather kind of figure out the information, relay that information to the public, and then see where we can go from there. So I've been working at Sprite for a little over 5 years. I started out in the mailroom. They deliver the mail up to the higher ups, and then basically from there you can go a couple of different routes. I'm what's called a bottle processor. So I basically just make sure that all the bottles are nice and good. I oversee the bottling. I'm one of the
factory managers
at the bottling company.
Bottle processor sounds like a made-up title. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not.
But also, I do agree that getting out the information out there is probably better than risking your job over there, because then you can get more information, and that's what this show is for.
Thank you for having me on the show.
I'm glad you came on. To be honest,
thank you.
And I guess I'll ask you the a special little question we always like to ask our guests. All right, it's a simple one. Truth or dare?
I'm gonna go ahead and pick truth.
All right, if Sprite offered you $5 billion, would you keep your mouth shut about the whole? Would you have said anything about the Sprite situation? The Sprite Corona?
I'm gonna be honest. If they offered me $5 billion, I don't think that any sane person would turn that down. Okay, I don't want to go into too much detail, but I would definitely take the money.
That was a dumb question.
All right, so I guess I'll go ahead and ask you then, since you asked me, truth or dare?
I'm gonna go with truth.
All right, let me think for a sec. Okay, if you had one wish, what would your wish be?
What's with all these guests asking the odd questions?
I'm sorry.
If I had one wish, I mean, I guess the first thing that comes to my mind is take over the peanut business from my dad. It'd probably be my wish. I got a lot of good ideas. Think I could make a. I think I'd do good.
I didn't know you were in the peanut business.
I don't like talking about it. All right, shut up.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
That's okay.
Just
It's
don't
okay.
shut
I
up.
didn't know it was a touchy subject.
All right. Well, I
but
think
I'm curious. I won't ask anything about it though.
Okay. Shut up. Shut up.
So
All right. So I think that's about all the time we have for today.
Thanks for having me.
Don't ask about the peanut business again. Okay.
Sorry,
Next,
I'm really sorry.
I'm assuming we're gonna stay in contact, maybe, but
yeah.
never ask me that again. All right. So thanks everybody for listening
Thank
for
you
the
for
Tim
listening.
Tickler Show.
Thank
We
you.
we finally got an
Get me
episode where
on.
I'm not kicking somebody off.
Please don't kick me off.
Because he's my buddy. You're my buddy.
Your
All right, now,
buddies.
now get out the show. I'm just kidding. All right, that's it. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Grill some burgers for us, Burgers?